Prodhitakaitava yatra paramaninmastaranam sata. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parikacharya Satira Sadashi Srimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sukha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaurana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Maipur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Brihat Mridanga Ki. Samaveda Bhaktivinda Ki. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi, Guru, and Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. Dvaita Gandhara. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. So we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, Chapter 9. This is verse number 77. This is description of Lord Chaitanya's travels to Vrindavan. Devastani Asikaila Vishna Darashana Sri Vaishnavera Sange Tahan Goshti Anukshana. At Devastana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Lord Vishnu, and there he talked with Vaishnavas in the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya. These Vaishnavas are known as Sri Vaishnavas. Kumbhakarna Kalape Deka Saravara Shiva Kshetre Shiva Deke Gauranga Sundara. At Kumbhakarna Kapala, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw a great lake and then the holy place named Shiva Kshetra, where a temple of Lord Shiva is located. Purport. Kumbhakarna is the name of the brother of Ravana. At the present moment, the city of Kumbhakarna Kapala is known as Kumbhakonam. It is situated 24 miles northeast of the city of Tanjore. There are 12 temples of Lord Shiva located at Kumbhakonam, as well as 4 Vishnu temples and 1 temple of Lord Brahma. Shiva Kshetra, within the city of Tanjore, is situated near a big lake known as Shiva Ganga. At this place is a large temple of Lord Shiva known as Bhattiswara Shiva Mandir. It should be noted, it's interesting that there's a temple to Lord Brahma there. There are very few temples to Lord Brahma. There's a long story about that, but I won't tell it now. But Lord Brahma, there are very few temples to Lord Brahma in India. Many temples of Shiva, many temples of Vishnu, but very few to Lord Brahma. Papa Nashane Vishnu Kaila Darashana Sri Ranga Kshetra Tabe Karila Gamana. After visiting the holy place named Shiva Kshetra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Papanashana, and there saw the temple of Lord Vishnu. Then he finally reached Sri Ranga Kshetra. Purport. There are two holy places known as Papanashana. One is located 8 miles southwest of Kumbakonam, and the other lies near the river Tamarapani in the district of Tirunelveli, 20 miles west of the city of Tirunelveli, Palamakota. Sri Ranga Kshetra, Sri Rangam, is a very famous place. It lies in the district of Tiruchirappalli, about 10 miles west of Kumbakonam, near the city of Tiruchirappalli, on an island in the Kaveri River. The Sri Rangam temple is the largest in India, and there are 7 walls surrounding it. There are also 7 roads leading to Sri Rangam. The ancient names of these roads are the road of Dharma, the road of Raja Mahendra, the road of Kulakshekar, the road of Alindana, the road of Tiruvikrama, the road of Tirubidi, the road the Tirubidi road of Madhamadgaisa, and the road of Adi Iyavala Idana. The temple was founded before the reign of Dharmavarma, who reigned before Raja Mahendra. Many celebrated kings like Kulakshekar and Yamunacharya, Alambandura, resided in the temple of Sri Rangam. Yamunacharya, Sri Ramanuja, Sudarshanacharya, and others also supervised the temple. The incarnation of the goddess of fortune, known as Goda Devi or Sri Andal, was one of the 12 Alvars, liberated persons who known as Divya Suris. She was married to the deity of Sri Ranganath, and later she entered into the body of the Lord. An incarnation of Karmuka named Tirumanga, also one of the Alvars, acquired some money by stealing and built the 4th boundary wall of Sri Rangam. It is said that in the year 289 of the age of Kali, that's a long time ago, the Alvar named Tondara Dipadi was born. While engaged in devotional service, he fell victim to a prostitute, and Sri Ranganath, seeing his devotee so degraded, sent one of his servants with a golden plate to the prostitute. When the golden plate was discovered missing from the temple, there was a search, and it was found in the prostitute's house. When the devotee saw Ranganath's mercy upon this prostitute, his mistake was rectified. He then prepared the 3rd boundary wall of the Ranganath temple and cultivated a Tulsi garden there. Now, it's interesting, we should note who the Alvars are. The Alvars are saints, great saints from South India, and they appeared over a very long period of time, from early in Kali Yuga right up into the early current period, like the year 800 or 900 AD. Most famous of whom is King Kulakshekar, who wrote the Mukunda Mala Stotra, which is a book that Prabhupada translated the first 6 verses and was later completed by Satsvarup Goswami, and is a very wonderful book. And you can get it online, and you can purchase it also. And it has very wonderful instructions, and Prabhupada's purports are very lengthy, And Satsarup Maharaj's purports are also nice. So there's a whole tradition in South India of great saintly persons, and many of our acharyas are also from South India. So this is a very great land of spirituality. Continuing with the purport. There was also a celebrated disciple of Ramanujacharya known as Kuresh. Sri Rama Pillai was the son of Kuresh, and his son was Vagvijaya Bhatta, whose son was Vedavyas Bhatta, or Sri Sudarshan Acharya. When Sudarshan Acharya was an old man, the Muslims attacked the temple of Ranganath and killed about 1,200 Sri Vaishnavas. At that time, the deity of Ranganath was transferred to the temple of Tirupati in the kingdom of Vijayanagara. The governor of Ginji, Gopanarya, brought Sri Ranganath from the temple of Tirupati to a place known as Singhabrahma, where the Lord was situated for 3 years. In the year 1293 Shaka era, which corresponds to AD 1371, the deity was reinstalled in the Ranganath temple. On the eastern wall of the Ranganath temple is an inscription written by Veda Deshika relating how Ranganath was returned to the temple. So it wasn't uncommon that deities were removed from temples when they were going to be attacked by the Muslims who were dead against deity worship. Many of the deities in Vrindavan ended up in Jaipur, and they're still there. Although there are also deities in the temples in Vrindavan, but many of these these deities are deities that were placed there after the original deities were removed. Kaveri te snanakari deke rangunata stuti pranatikari manila kritarta. After bathing in the river Kaveri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the temple of Ranganath and offered his ardent prayers and obeisances. Thus he felt himself successful. Prema Veshe Kaila Bahuta Gana Nartana Deki Chatmakara Haila Sava Lokara Mana. In the temple of Ranganath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted and danced in ecstatic love of Godhead. Seeing his performance, everyone was struck with wonder. Sri Vaishnavara Eka Vyankata Bhatta Nama Prabhure Nimantrana Kaila Karila Samana. A Vaishnava known as Venkata Bhatta then invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home with great respect. This is the story of how Gopal Bhatta Goswami first met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a child. Sri Venkata Bhatta was a Vaishnava Brahmana and an inhabitant of Sri Rangashetra. He belonged to the disciplic succession of Sri Ramanujacharya. Sri Ranga is one of the places of pilgrimage in the province of Tamil Nadu. The inhabitants of that province do not retain the name Venkata. It is therefore supposed that Venkata Bhatta did not belong to that province, although he may have been residing there for a very long time. Venkata Bhatta was in a branch of the Ramanuja Sampradaya known as Bhadagali. He had a brother in the Ramanuja Sampradaya known as Shripad Prabodhananda Saraswati. The son of Venkata Bhatta was later known in the Gaudiya Sampradaya as Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and he established the Radharaman temple in Vrindavan. More information about him may be found in a book known as Bhakti Ratnakara by Narahari Chakravarti. Nijagare Lanya Kaila Pada Pakshalana Se Jalalanya Kaila Savamshe Bhakshana. Sri Venkatabhatta took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home. After he washed the Lord's feet, all the members of his family drank the water. Bhiksha Karana Kichu Kaila Nivedana Chaturmasya Ashi Prabhu Haila Upasana. After offering lunch to Lord, Venkatabhatta submitted that the period of Chaturmasya had already arrived. Now, Chaturmasya is 4 months. It's actually begun here in early this month, or at the end of last month, actually. And it lasts for 4 months, and it corresponds to the rainy season in India. And during that time of Chaturmasya, it was traditional for sannyasis and mendicants to stay in one place because it was just too hard to travel in the rainy weather. So they would stay in one place and perform austerities to replace the austerities they would perform while traveling. This year, we are having 5 months of Chaturmasya because we have an extra month in the calendar to adjust the holy days. We begin that extra month in the middle of July. So Lord Chaitanya is going to spend 4 months with Venkatabhatta and his family, and of course this is very important to Gopal Bhatta because he gets to spend time with Lord Chaitanya. Then Chaturmasya Kripakari Raha Muragare Krishna Natakahi Kripaya Udara Mare. Venkatabhatta said, "Please be merciful to me and stay at my house during Chaturmasya. Speak about Lord Krishna's pastimes and kindly deliver me by your mercy." Tanragare Rahila Prabhu Krishna Katarase Bhatta Sange Goinaila Suke Charimase. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at the house of Venkatabhatta for 4 continuous months. The Lord passed his days in great happiness, enjoying the transcendental mellow of discussing Lord Krishna's pastimes. Kavirete Snanakari Sri Ranga Darshana Pratidina Premaveshe Karena Nartana. While there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his bath in the river Kaveri and visited the temple of Sri Ranga. Every day the Lord also danced in ecstasy. Sundaryadi Premavesha Deka Sarvaloka Deki Bare Aise Deke Kande Duka Shoka. The beauty of Lord Chaitanya's body and his ecstatic love of God were witnessed by everyone. Many people used to come to see him, and as soon as they saw him, all their unhappiness and distress vanished. Laksha Laksha Loka Aila Nana Desha Haite Sabe Krishna Nama Kahe Prabhuke Dekite. Many thousands and many hundreds of thousands of people from various countries came to see the Lord, and after seeing him, they all chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So thus is the power of a great personality like Lord Chaitanya, is that simply by seeing a personality like Lord Chaitanya, who is, of course, Krishna himself, one begins to chant Hare Krishna. That is the strength of a great personality, like Srila Prabhupada or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and other great acharyas. Krishna Nama Vina Kehe Nahi Kahi Ara Sabe Krishna Bhakta Haila Loke Chamatkara. Indeed, they did not chant anything but the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and all of them became Lord Krishna's devotees. Thus, the general populace was astonished. South India is mostly most of the Vaishnavas worship Lord Vishnu, but when Lord Chaitanya visited South India, they became devotees of Lord Krishna. Krishna and Vishnu are the same person, but there's the difference of the intensity of rasa. Krishna, his He is Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He's the original personality, and the rasas with Krishna are the sweetest and most profound, whereas Lord Vishnu is the Aishvarya mood, which is the mood of opulence, and Krishna is the mood of Madhurya, sweetness. Shri Ranga Kshetra Vaishayata Vaishnaver Brahmana Eka Dine Sabe Kaila Nimantrana. All the Vaishnava Brahmanas residing in Sri Ranga Kshetra invited the Lord to their homes. Indeed, he had an invitation every day. Eka Dine Chaturmasya Purna. No, Eka Dina Chaturmasya Purna Haila. Kataka Brahmana Bhiksha Ditena Paila. Every day the Lord was invited by a different Brahmana, but some of the Brahmanas did not get the opportunity to offer him lunch because the period of Chaturmasya came to an end. Se Kshetra Rahe Eka Vaishnaver Brahmana Devalaye Asikare Gita Avartana. In the holy place of Sri Ranga Kshetra, a Brahmana Vaishnava used to visit the temple daily and recite the entire text of the Bhagavad Gita. Asta dase dhyaya pade ananda aveshe ashuda padena lokakare upahase. The Brahmana regularly read the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in great transcendental ecstasy, but because he could not pronounce the words correctly, people used to joke about him. Kaya hase kaya ninde taha nahi mane avishta hanya gita pade anandita mane. Due to his incorrect pronunciation, people sometimes criticized him and laughed at him, but he did not care. He was full of ecstasy due to reading the Bhagavad Gita, and was personally very happy. It doesn't give his name. He was just a Brahmana who couldn't pronounce things properly. But it doesn't matter if you pronounce things properly. What's the matter is your mood. Pulakashru Kampa Sweda Yavat Patana Deki Anandita Haila Mahaprabhura Mana. While reading the book, the Brahmana experienced transcendental bodily transformations. The hairs on his body stood on end, tears welled up in his eyes, and his body trembled and perspired as he read. Seeing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. This is what's important. One has the emotion, the bhava, associated with reading the Bhagavad Gita. Not that one may be very expert at reading the Sanskrit, but doesn't have any feeling. Purport. Although the Brahmana could not pronounce the words very well due to illiteracy, he still experienced ecstatic symptoms while reading the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to observe these symptoms, and this indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased by devotion, not by erudite scholarship. Even though the words were imperfectly pronounced, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord Krishna himself, did not think this very serious. Rather, the Lord was pleased with the bhava, devotion. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.11, this is confirmed. Tadvag visargo janatagra viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abhavat yapi namanya nantasya yashon kitani yat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sarava. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. And I should just read the verse that comes before it, because this is the other kind of literature. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows, since the all-perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode. They do not derive any pleasure there. So this is an important point, because transcendental literature, even if it is not read perfectly well, it is considered to be a place where the transcendentalists will flock to because of the value of hearing Krishna Katha. Where the imperfection of literatures, other literatures, they don't glorify the Supreme Lord. No, they don't say that. They say this. It says that, on the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, that means that maybe the literature, the grammar is not perfect, maybe the punctuation is not perfect, maybe the way that things are expressed isn't totally perfect. Like you might read a poem by a mundane scholar that's perfect grammatically. Even though it's perfect grammatically, even though it follows all the rules nicely, it's worthless. Whereas reading some poetry by a Vaishnava who might make some mistakes in the grammar is perfect. And the example is given is that Srila Prabhupada, English is his second language. So in his original Bhagavatams that he brought from India, between his English being his second language and Indian publishers who are publishing books in English, which is their second language, there were a lot of errors, in grammar, or typos, different things. Well, it doesn't make the books imperfect. It just meant that we should overlook these minor faults in transcendental literature. Of course, these faults were all corrected later, but if you see the original books, the ones that he brought to New York in '65, there aren't many of them, and they're priceless treasures. Well, we're not going to get into that, but things were cleaned up. If you read the books after that, even the pre-78 books were changed to fix the grammar, etc. The purport of this verse may be considered for further information on the subject. Okay, let's go on. Mahaprabhu Punchila Tanre Shuna Mahashaya Konarta Jani Tomara Eta Sukhahaya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the Brahmana, "My dear sir, why are you in such ecstatic love? Which portion of the Bhagavad Gita gives you such transcendental pleasure?" Viprakahe Murka Ami Shabarta Najani Sura Sura Gita Padi Guru Agya Mani. The Brahmana replied, "I am illiterate and therefore do not know the meaning of the words. Sometimes I read the Bhagavad Gita correctly and sometimes incorrectly. But in any case, I am doing this in compliance with the orders of my spiritual master." So this is important. He's following the orders of his spiritual master, even if he can't do them perfectly. This is a good example of a person who had become so successful that he was able to capture the attention of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even while reading the Bhagavad Gita incorrectly. His spiritual activities did not depend on material things such as correct pronunciation. Rather, his success depended on strictly following the instructions of his spiritual master. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyaiti katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. That's from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 620.23. Actually, the meaning of the words of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam are revealed to one strictly following the orders of the spiritual master. They are also revealed to one who has equal faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, being faithful to both Krishna and the spiritual master is the secret of success in spiritual life. Being faithful to the spiritual master and to Krishna. Because in spiritual life, there are always difficulties and problems. There are always difficulties and problems in all life. That's why we're here in the material world. But if we have faith in the spiritual master and faith in Krishna, then we will be successful. Arjunera rate Krishna haya rajudara vasayache hate totra shamala sundara. The Brahmana continued, actually, I only see Lord Krishna sitting on a chariot as Arjuna's charioteer. Taking the reins in his hands, he appears very beautiful and blackish. Arjunere kahichena hita upadesha tanre deki haya mora ananda avesha. While seeing Lord Krishna sitting in a chariot and instructing Arjuna, I am filled with ecstatic happiness. Yavat padan tavat pana tanra darashana e lagi gita pata nachade moramana. As long as I read the Bhagavad Gita, I simply see the Lord's beautiful features. It is for this reason that I am reading the Bhagavad Gita, and my mind cannot be distracted from this. Prabhu kahe Gita pate tomarai adhikara tumi sejan haha e gitara artasara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the Brahmana, indeed, you are an authority in the reading of the Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you know constitutes the real purport of the Bhagavad Gita. So he says, yeah, you may not read it right by the standards of reading, but you've got it right by the standards of understanding. Purport, according to the Shastras, Bhaktya Bhagavantam Grayam na Buddha na cha tikaya. One should understand the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam by hearing them from a real devotee. One cannot understand them simply by erudite scholarship or sharp intelligence. It is also said, Gita dite cha yenapi bhakti bhavena chaitasa Veda Shastra Puranani Tena Ditani Sarvasha. To one who reads the Bhagavad Gita with faith and devotion, the essence of Vedic knowledge is revealed. And according to the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23, Yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve tata guru taisyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. This is the second time Prabhupada said this in 2 verses. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. All Vedic literatures are to be understood with faith and devotion, not by mundane scholarship. We have therefore presented Bhagavad Gita as it is. There are many so-called scholars and philosophers who read the Bhagavad Gita in a scholarly way. They simply waste their time and mislead those who read their commentary. So that's why Prabhupada called it Bhagavad Gita as it is, because he didn't change anything. He didn't put his own opinions there. He gave the full understanding of the previous acharyas without any sort of non-bhakti elements. So many people, they interpret the Bhagavad Gita with jnana or karma or different ideas that aren't pure bhakti. But Prabhupada gave us pure bhakti. Eta Bali Se Vipre Kaila Alingana Prabhupada Dari Viprakarena Rodana. After saying this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced the Brahmana, and the Brahmana, catching the lotus feet of the Lord, began to cry. Toma de ki taha haite duiguna sukahaya. Say Krishna to me, hena mora mane halaya. The Brahmana said, upon seeing you, my happiness is doubled. I take it that you are the same Lord Krishna. Krishna sportye tanramana hanyache nirmala ata eva prabhura tattva janila sakala. Spurtye, this means, spurti means like a revelation. So Krishna spurte is a revelation of Krishna. The mind of the Brahmana was purified by the revelation of Lord Krishna, and therefore he could understand the truth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all details. Tabe Mahaprabhu Tanre Karaila Shikshana E Bhatta Kahana Karila Pakshana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then taught the Brahmana very thoroughly and requested him not to disclose the fact that he was Lord Krishna himself. Se Vipra Mahaprabhura Bada Bhakta Haila Chari Masa Prabhu Sangha Kabuna Chadila. That Brahmana became a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and for 4 continuous months he did not give up the Lord's company. E Mata Bhatta Grihe Rahe Gorachandra Nirantara Bhatra Sanghe Krishna Katananda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at the house of Venkata Bhatta and constantly talked with him about Lord Krishna. In this way, he was very happy. So I'll stop there. We're on verse 109 now. And so that's where we'll begin. Madhya Lila, chapter 9, verse 109. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajamin. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajamin. Menam Kanvantam Maravindadalaya Taksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Akom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobha. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Angani Yasa Sakalen Kriya Priti Manti Vasyan Vipan Kayanti Adipurusha Namaham Bhajami Govinda 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 Adipurusha.
Baji bolia eshe samsara bitore Baji bolia eshe samsara bitore Bulia rohile to me Avid yarabare Bulia rohile to me Avid yarabare Tomare loite ami Hoinu avatara Tomare loite Te ami Hoinu avatara Ami bina bandu ara Keache tamara Ami bina bandu ara Keache tamara Jaya Saudi Maya Nashi Baralagi Jaya Saudi Maya Nashi Baralagi Harinama Maha Mantra Loud to me Magi 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 Bhaktivinoda Prabhu Charane Pariya Bhaktivinoda Prabhu Charane Pariya Say Hari Nama Mantra Loila Magiya Say Hari Nama Mantra Loila Magiya Say Hari Nama Mantra Loila Magiya Say Hari Nama mantra Laila Magia Jeev Jago Jeev Jago Gora Chandra Bole Jeev Jago Jeev Jago Gora Chandra Bole Kota Nidra Jaya Maya Picha Chire Bole Kota Nidra Jaya Maya Picha Chire Kole Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Haribo Nitai Gaur 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 Haribo Nitai Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Kananda Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Kananda Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya 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 Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Tai Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Golokananda Ki Jai. Lord Gauranga is calling. Wake up, sleeping soul. Wake up, sleeping soul. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? You have forgotten the way of devotional service and are lost in the cycle of birth and death. I have descended just to save you. I am your only true friend. Other than me, what friend do you have? I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you suffer. Take this great chant of deliverance, Maha Mantra, the names of Hari. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, falling at the Lord's lotus feet, take shelter of the Hari Nam mantra, the Lord's holy names. And today we'll be taking shelter of the Lord's holy names at Weaver Street Market beginning at 11:30 to 1 o'clock, Hari Nam. Please come out. We have a nice shady spot near the front of the market, so it's not too hot. And it's always nice to give everyone the chance who's just out there shopping to hear the holy names. Chaito Darpanam Marjanam Baba Mahadevagnivapanam Shreya Kairasya Chandrikavitaranam Vidavadu Jivanam Anandam Gurivardhanam Pranapranidammaraswananam Paramatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Santirnanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Bakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva midvishami hajjani nanuraga. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi suhishuna. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Nadanam najanam nasundarim. Kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Mama janmani janmani ishvare. Bhavatad bhakya hoitaki twai. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. Patitamam vishame bhavam budao. Kripayata vapata pankaja. Stita duli sadrashim vachintaya. Nayanam galashudaraya. Varanam gadgadaridaya gira. Pulakarnishitam vapukada. Tavanama grahane bhavishyati. Yugayatam namishena. Chakshusha pravashayatam. Shunayatam jagat sarvam govindam virahename. Ashlishya vapadam ritam panastumam. Adarshanam marmahata karotuva. Yatatata vavindatolam padomat prananatastu saeva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large. It spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. My Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. Oh, I'm your eternal. I fall in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Your separation, 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.